Hey everybody, G Bear here out in the desert. It's concrete day. What you're seeing in front of you here, besides my shadow standing behind the camera, that metal thing down there is where my concrete's going to be poured. That's going to hold up my wind turbine. And what you're looking at there, that gray metal thing, came from an old box fan. I pulled all the guts out of it and the screens off the front and back, and it makes a perfect square with rounded corners so I don't stub my toes on it every time I walk by it. Concrete form, and it's 4 inches exactly, so that's nice. And then I got my 2-inch pipe in the center. It's galvanized pipe, and then you see some wires that are bent back and forth. Those are actually bed springs I found out here in the desert, and that's what we call desert rebar. And I mounted that stuff in there so that it's going to tie everything together. Now that pipe goes down 2 feet into the ground, and then it'll be 4 inches above the 2 feet going through concrete. And then I've got a couple of inches sticking above the concrete. And when I bring my pole down, the turbine pole is a 10-foot piece of the same size 2-inch pipe. Then I've got a bell reducer coupler on there, reducing it down to 1.5 inches. And I've got another 10 feet of pipe going up 1.5 inches. So I'll be 20 feet in the air from this point. And that should get me up there high enough to pick up some good winds out here and generate some good electricity. Now what I'm going to do here is I got my, that's my invention, the rapid rod. And I'm going to be mixing concrete in that 5-gallon pail. Now this is a little bit different type of mixing than what people are normally used to. And what you do is, if you read the 60-pound bags of concrete here, it says to add 1 gallon of water, or 4 quarts of water, same thing, and then mix your mix. Well, the way most guys do it is they've got a cement mixer, and they add some water, and then they add the bag of concrete, and then they add as much water as they think they need to get the right consistency. This is a little bit more efficient. What I'm going to do is I've already poured exactly 1 gallon into the bucket. And the way I figured that out was, if we move on over here to the back of the van, you'll see my blue water barrel there, and on the ground is a 1-gallon pail, and I've already refilled that one with another gallon of water. So when I'm ready to go with my next mix, I've already got my gallon of water poured. So that's how I got a gallon of water into this pail. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut the bag of concrete in half, and I'm going to add half of the concrete first. And the way I do that is I just use a shovel. You can't see that here. I just use a shovel to make a little tear in the bag like this, right about center. And then you can grab a hold of the pole, the piece of pipe that I put underneath there, and we lift up on it, and it should give me 2 halves of the bag. There we go. So now I got my 2 halves of bag. I'm going to stand this one up, and I'm losing some here. And we're going to get this into the pail. And I'll pick up the stuff that I missed. Add that into the pail. Okay, now, let me see if I got a camera on this. We're going to bring this camera up a little. Okay, now I'm going to take my mixer, and I'm just going to get this sloshed up a little bit. That's it. I just wanted to make a slurry out of that part of it. Now I'm going to add the other half a bag. Okay, And then we're going to mix this all the way up. There we go. Now, some of you have heard me say it before, and I'm going to say it again right now. It was the Rapid Rod, 60 pounds in 60 seconds. Okay, now we're going to get this over to the form where I'm going to pour this in. Okay, and I've got to get my shovel and move that down into the hole. I still have a little left in the bucket, but I've got to level my post before I finish pouring this in. Okay. Okay. And there's our first batch of concrete poured into. And we'll work it down there around the pipe, get a good slurry, and now I'm going to test for level. Yeah. And we're good that way. And we need to go just a hair. There we go. Recheck and we are good. Well, that's it. So I'm going to do the same thing to the next bag and the next two bags, and that'll be it. And then I'll finish the top off, give it a nice smooth finish, and then let it sit here and dry. G-Bear signing off.